Hey guys, it's Zach Attack here, and today we're going to be looking at this video. Games that's vegan should kill lions. Anyway, let's get right into this. I already reacted to this, but I forgot to press the record button, so now I have to make the video again. So I'm pretty pissed off about that.
We've been briefly touching on this throughout the conversation, but are vegans obligated to find ways to prevent animal suffering, wild animal suffering, sorry?
So I wouldn't say we're obligated to prevent any suffering. I think the only obligation you have is to not violate the rights of others.
Yo, is this a leather chair? Bro, what is this? Bro, I don't think that's vegan.
You may have an interest in reducing suffering, but I wouldn't say you're obligated.
Yeah, okay. So but you still would take issue personally with wild animal suffering that is occurring, and I know that you think we should be doing something about it, or should maybe isn't the right word for you then. You wouldn't say that we should be trying to prevent wild animal suffering, or it's just if it's of your interest?
So I have an interest in preventing wild animal suffering. Just due to me having an interest, I think we should eventually invest in research and maybe technology to engineer ecosystems to prevent wild animal suffering.
Sure. So what do you think until then we should be actively going out there and killing animals that would be at the top of a food chain, an apex predator? Is it odd? What is it? What's the word? Odd and even?
Odd order predators.
Odd order predators, yes. So ones that aren't going to be getting killed by other animals.
So I think it also refers to the amount of animals they kill, like something like that, just the amount of animals they kill over their lifespan. But
are these guys actually really talking about killing carnivorous animals? You do realize, right? If you kill carnivorous animals, the animals that they eat are going to overpopulate, and they're all going to starve, and just more animals are going to be killed overall.
Yeah, like the idea behind it is to prevent more rights violations. So if you know that, like, if you have an interest in granting animals rights, so you want to make sure a deer doesn't get murdered, well, other animals may murder that deer, and if you know that
they need to survive, like they don't have a choice.
There's a specific type of animal, like, I don't know, wolf, that will murder many deer over its lifetime, you're going to be preventing more rights violations by murdering that wolf. It might be like, say, 100, murders.
Like I said, there's just going to be more deer, they're just going to starve, and there's going to be more animals dying.
By murdering that wolf. So that's the idea behind it. The only argument I've heard against doing that would be some sort of ecological devastation. So, like, say if there weren't any wolves, then deer populations wouldn't be controlled. Then they'd overbreed and then eat everything. Then they'd all starve out.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. But assuming there's not going to be that kind of ecological devastation.
But there will be, though. There will be. What do you mean, assuming they're not? There will be.
I haven't heard a good argument against calling carnivorous animals.
And just for pretty much anyone watching, vegans, non-vegans, they're probably going, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Like, how could you ever justify it, especially as a vegan, going out and killing other animals? But I think a good way to put this, and maybe you can explain this further. I mean, I don't have a definite position on it, but after watching your video with Avi, and people can, maybe I can link that right now and people can go take a look at it, I would say it's a surprisingly strong case, even just kind of not pragmatically yet, maybe, I don't know, we can get into the pragmatics of it, but just from a thought experiment, it does make a philosophical perspective. It makes a lot of sense, and I think a really good way to put it is, imagine if there was a predator species for humans, right?
But there's not, though.
Like you could say like an alien predator, but just imagine another animal that is the apex above humans, and they're going to be going around society and killing humans. most humans would be okay with killing that animal in order to protect
But the
humans.
animals that wolves kill, right? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck at all. They don't even know. Well, they know, but like, you know what I mean. They don't know as much as humans.
Right? So why would we not be okay with killing other apex predators to other animals that aren't humans in order to protect them? It's a contradiction. Can you maybe explain that a bit further and how that's helped rationalize this idea to you?
Yeah, so I don't know if people have seen the movie Aliens or Predator, or there's vampire movies. You could name any kind of like monster or
The fact that they're actually using fictional movies to prove their point is pretty funny.
being that would kill and eat people. So let's say vampires were real, and they were going around killing and eating people so that they can live. We'd obviously hunt vampires to extinction so that they don't, kill people. Now, if we're comfortable with killing off vampires, why would we not be comfortable with killing off wolves to protect deer? Wolves are basically the vampires for deer. So, again, you could use this argument, but what about the ecosystem? Well, okay. Would you be okay with letting human beings get killed and eaten by vampires to protect the ecosystem? Human beings are the most ecologically devastating species on the planet, too, by the way. So that's probably, that's probably the best argument, in favor of letting vampires kill and eat people. But I don't think most people would be comfortable with that. They'd say something like, oh, but we could, make it so humans don't breed as much, or we can make regulations to
What is this conversation, man?
protect the environment, stuff like that. It's the same, it's the same argument being made to kill off wolves. Like, if it would become ecologically devastating, the idea is we'd have some sort of technology to prevent deer from overpopulating, eating too much, stuff like that.
But we don't, though. Like, we literally don't.
It'd, maybe control how often they breed. So, that's the basic idea.
Why not create a... Yeah. I think when you said vampire, then it actually kind of triggered something, because vampires are essentially humanoid beings, right? And obviously this is hypothetical, but why not create a legal system like we do today?
A legal system for animals, man. What are you talking about? You're literally dating someone who covers themselves in their own period blood. So I expect nothing less from you.
In our society, to prevent us having to go out and kill people in self-defense or the prevention of a future killing. Why not have all these other measures in place that minimize our need to go and kill other beings?
What do you mean by that?
So, in the case of a predator against humans, should we come up... I say legal system, but really, should we come up with ways to, let's say, prevent them killing humans without actually having to be violent ourselves? Should we find ways to confine them, or tranquilize them, etc., contracept them, those types of things? Would that be better?
I've done that with my cats, basically. If you let cats outside, they'll kill and eat birds and just anything they can get a hold of. But I keep them inside, and I feed them vegan cat food.
I feel so bad for his cats, man. Bro. Hashtag free vegan games cats.
So, ideally that would, be done, but considering the amount of wild animals in existence, probably impractical to house. I don't know how many lions, I don't know how many tigers, I don't know how many wolves, and,
there's
a billion
so many
other carnivore species, yeah.
Yeah, it would be really, and this is what I want to ask you, pragmatically, do you even think that this is the right thing to be doing? Whilst in a philosophical level...
I think it's just stupid. I think it's just dumb. It's just dumb, alright? It's just a dumb thing to be doing.
Hard to make an argument to just let wild animals...
But yeah, I do think it is hypocritical if you're vegan and you're killing animals.
Especially apex predators go around murdering animals because we wouldn't want the same for ourselves. But is it even practical to go and do something about it right now?
Yeah. We have caused many species extinctions, so yes, it is quite practical to, right now, go out and hunt a species to extinction, we could absolutely do it. We've almost done it with lions. I think there have been some type of rhino was recently hunted to extinction. So it's practical. We could do it. I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea right now with the lack of research and what that would result in.
And I know this was you in your conversation with Avi, but there's a part in you that's screaming, saying that this is wrong. This is not right to be going and killing somebody when you should really be taking the time to find out other ways to prevent this.
There's no way to prevent it, though. That's how nature works. That's how nature always works. That's how it always will work. Just deal with it.
So I think what really weirded me out in that conversation is just I've never thought about that before. Like when you when you kind of think about wild animals, you just think about, well, that's their society and we should be respecting their freedoms and all this. But again, if you're going to grant animals rights, you have to grant them rights that protect them from people and other animals. Otherwise...
Well, why, though? Like, that's how they survive. They're literally carnivores. There's nothing you can do about it.
You're not really granting them rights.
I guess then another question would be, and this is often brought up in conversations between vegans and non-vegans, and we say that, well, you can't appeal to nature and you can't appeal to lions though, because they don't have access to vegan options.
But they don't. Yeah, they're literally carnivores.
Do you still think that's a fair thing to be saying, or should we change that argument?
I don't think it's a problematic argument in any way. So if somebody says, well, what about lions? They eat meat. You could make that same response and it not contradict with your opinion that we should be killing carnivorous animals. Because, right. You're not a lion. You have choices. So what are you, it's just not relatable to your position. Usually when people bring that up to me, what about lions? I just say, well, lions shouldn't be killing innocent animals either.
Yeah. Oh my god, bro. Like, are you actually stupid?
That's usually what I say.
Doesn't make it moral.
It doesn't make
They don't have a choice. They literally don't have a choice. I know vegans always are like, oh, well, yeah, humans should be vegans if they have a choice. Lions don't have a fucking choice. That's how they survive.
Moral that animals are doing it out of necessity.
And usually I don't have to go down a whole rabbit hole of, killing carnivorous animals. People just say, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, just because a lion does it doesn't mean it's okay for us to do it. So in terms of vegan activism, I haven't found it create these problems where every single time somebody brings up lions, though, I have to spend...
So I'm actually going to end it here because it's just these two idiots talking about how we should kill lions or whatever. So I'm actually going to end it here. So remember to leave a like and subscribe for more content.